Hello, in this episode we'll be reviewing the city of Berlin, the capital of Germany. Berlin is the largest city of Germany and it attracts 5 million visitors per year. Due to its location, Berlin is a wonderful city to visit during the summer, as the climate is mild and the sun sets past 9:30 in the evening.
Because the city was nearly entirely ruined during World War II, it contains limited historical architecture, but despite this, there's still much to see. Berlin has a well-developed public transportation system, making commute within the city quick, easy, and cheap. In this video, we'll be covering the top 25 sites and attractions of the city, which we arranged location-wise to minimize travel time.
We'll start our trip by visiting the preserved remnants of the Berlin Wall, which Berliners have converted into a giant art canvas known as the East Side Gallery. The Berlin Wall was built by the communist regime ruling over East Germany.
The wall was built to prevent East Germans from escaping into West Berlin. It ran 155 kilometers in length, encircling all of West Berlin, and had towers with armed guards. A lot more peaceful today, the East Side Gallery runs 1.3 kilometers.
A half-hour walk from East Side Gallery is Alexanderplatz. Alexanderplatz is a large public square and transport hub. Alexanderplatz has always been one of the liveliest places in Berlin, with shops, cinemas, restaurants, and many attractions within walking distance. It is also a junction between the S-Bahn, U-Bahn, regional trains, trams, and buses.
It is surrounded by several notable structures, including the Fernsehturm, a tower which is the second tallest structure in the European Union. The Fernsehturm is a TV tower that was constructed between 1965 and 1969 by the Communist East and was intended to be a symbol of communist power.
The observation deck is about 670 feet high, and the entry fee is about 15 euros. About 4 minutes away from Fernsehturm TV tower is Neptun and Brunnen fountain. This fountain was built in 1891 and features the Roman god Neptune at the center.
The four women around him represent the four main rivers of Prussia at the time the fountain was constructed, which are the Elbe, Rhine, Vistula, and Oder.
Nearby is St. Mary's Church, one of the oldest churches in Berlin. It was built in approximately 13th century, although the exact date is unknown, and is still in operation.
This historic artifact has been heavily damaged during World War II and then restored in the 1950s. You may go inside to see its beautiful fresco paintings.
Next, we visit Berlin Cathedral, located on the Museum Island. Berlin Cathedral, also known as Berliner Dom, is Berlin's largest and most important Protestant church. This high Renaissance Baroque monument has been built in phases since the Middle Ages. First constructed in 1465 as a parish church on the Spree River, it was finally completed in 1905 under the last German Kaiser, Wilhelm II.
The cathedral was damaged during World War II and remained closed during the communist regime. It reopened after restoration in 1993. Visitors can observe bullet holes left on the cathedral's facade from the Battle of Berlin.
Just across the street from Berlin Cathedral is Altes Museum. This museum was built in 1830 to house the Prussian royal family's art collection. Today, it contains thousands of ancient archaeological artifacts from the ancient Greek, Roman, Etruscan, and Cypriot civilizations. As mentioned, the cathedral and Altes Museum are located on Museum Island, the name given to an area located on the northern half of an island in the Spree River. As the name suggests, this area is packed with museums.
Right behind Altes Museum is a cluster of four museums, surrounded by a magnificent colonnade, one of which is Alte National Gallery. Built in 1861, this gallery houses a collection of neoclassical, romantic, Biedermeier, Impressionist, and early modernist artwork. The other three museums are Neues Museum, Pergamon Museum, and Bode Museum. Also located in Museum Island is the reconstructed Berlin Palace. The original palace was built in 1845 and served as a residence for Prussian kings and German emperors. The palace was destroyed by the East German communist regime in the 1950s. As of the making of this video, reconstruction is still in progress, but when completed, it will look something like this.
Running east to west from Museum Island to Brandenburg Gate is Unter den Linden, or Bundesstraße Avenue.
The avenue is lined with museums, embassies, and libraries. Appreciate the architecture of buildings like the State Opera House. If you're coming to Berlin around Christmas, you might want to check out the Christmas decorations of the avenue.
The Gendarmenmarkt is a square in Berlin and site of three beautiful buildings: Konzerthaus, that is the concert hall, and the French and German churches. At the square's center stands a monumental statue of Berlin's renowned poet Friedrich Schiller.
The French church was built in 1705 and the German church in 1708. The concert house was added to the square in 1821. During World War II, most of the buildings were badly damaged or destroyed, but by the 1990s, they had all been restored.
If you want to take a sweet break, within a 3-minute walk is the signature store and cafe of the famous Rittersport Chocolate Company. Inside, you'll find a vast variety of hundreds of flavors of chocolate. You can even order a custom-made chocolate bar there or enjoy a chocolate cocktail at the cafe upstairs. Also, take a look at the chocolate museum on the second floor.
Checkpoint Charlie was the most famous crossing point between East Berlin and West Berlin during the Cold War. After the collapse of the Eastern Bloc and the reunification of Germany, the building at Checkpoint Charlie became a tourist attraction.
You can have your passport stamped there with stamps used during the Cold War. However, we strongly recommend you not do that, as it may invalidate your passport. Right next to Checkpoint Charlie, there is a small museum, as well as panels with Cold War pictures and stories about the area, and a section of the actual Berlin Wall. En route between Checkpoint Charlie and Potsdamer Platz, where we are heading next, you come across some eye-catching architecture of Leipziger Straße.
These include the Communications Museum, which collects, preserves, documents, and displays the many different facets of communication. And there is also the Bundesrat, which is a legislative body representing the 16 federated states of Germany.
Potsdamer Platz is an important public square and traffic intersection in the center of Berlin. It is named after the city of Potsdam and marks the point where the old road from Potsdam passed through Berlin.
Before being completely destroyed during World War II, it was the most bustling traffic intersection in Europe. During the Cold War, it was left mostly deserted, with the Berlin Wall bisecting part of it. Since reunification, however, it's been the site of major redevelopment projects. One of those redevelopment projects on Potsdamer Platz is the Sony Center, which is a mix of shops, restaurants, and outdoor dining. There's also a conference center, hotel rooms, condominiums, and offices. Art lovers can explore art and film museums, as well as cinemas, an IMAX theater, a Lego Discovery Center, and the Sony style store.
Inside, the place is always bustling with activity. If you have time, try visiting in the evening, as it looks mysterious and beautiful when the giant umbrella above is lit with blue and purple lights.
The Memorial to the Murdered Jews of Europe, also known as the Holocaust Memorial, is a memorial dedicated to the Jewish victims of the Holocaust. The memorial consists of 2,711 concrete slabs covering 19,000 square meters.
The slabs are arranged in a grid pattern on a sloping field. They range from 8 inches to 15 feet in height. Brandenburg Gate, an 18th century neoclassical monument, is one of the best-known landmarks of Germany. The gate is the monumental entry to Unter den Linden, Boulevard of Linden Trees, which leads directly to the royal city palace of the Prussian monarchs.
The gate consists of 12 columns, 6 on each side, forming 5 passageways, and is topped with a beautiful chariot sculpture. Brandenburg Gate has been the site of major historical events and is considered a symbol of Germany's turbulent history.
Reichstag is a magnificent historic building in the heart of Berlin, less than 5 minutes away from the Brandenburg Gate. Opened in 1894, it housed the Legislative Assembly of the German government until 1933, when it was severely damaged after being set on fire by unknown perpetrators.
Reconstruction began in 1990, with the centerpiece being the large glass dome at the top of the Reichstag, which has a 360-degree view of the surrounding Berlin cityscape. The dome undoubtedly helps the Reichstag become the second most visited attraction in Germany. We recommend you to time your visit so that you can enjoy the golden sunset over Germany's capital. At the base of the dome, you can browse through the exhibition of the Reichstag's history.
The legislative body can also be viewed from inside the dome, as visitors and the parliament floor are bathed with natural sunlight from above. Expect to spend at least 2 hours here if you want to fully enjoy this impressive building. Keep in mind that you need to make a reservation for your visit to Reichstag. It can be done online or at small kiosk across the street from it. But in both cases, booking must be done at least 24 hours in advance.
Olympiastadion is a sports stadium built for the 1936 Summer Olympics. During the Olympics, record attendance was hit at over 100,000 spectators.
There is a fee to enter the Olympia Park with a discount granted to students. The park includes sculptures and a damaged bell that was once set atop a famous bell tower.
Today, the stadium is part of the Olympia Park, Berlin. Since renovations in 2004, the Olympiastadion has a capacity of about 74,000 seats and is Germany's largest stadium for international football matches.
A swimming pool with diving area is also part of the sports complex.
Located in the Charlottenburg district, or about 30 minutes from the city center by public transit, is Charlottenburg Palace. It is the largest palace in Berlin. The palace was built for Frederick the Great, King of Prussia, towards the end of the 1600s and expanded during the 1700s.
A fee is required to enter the palace's interior, where visitors can admire the exquisite Baroque-style decoration. However, it is free to stroll the palace grounds and admire its beautiful architecture, view the statues, and enjoy the stunning gardens, which include rows of mandarin trees.
Stretching northwards from the palace, visitors are welcome to this beautiful Prussian garden with winding paths, scenic ponds, sculptures, and other views made for relaxation and reflection. The garden's several lawns are good for sunbathing or picnicking.
You can easily spend the whole day here, as the environment is very quiet and laid back. The large carp pond, the fountain, the Baroque-style flower beds, the ancient trees, and the intimate green spaces create an atmosphere of splendor and richness, rarely found across the rest of Berlin.
Maximize your experience in this green paradise by following one of the paths over the charming bridge to the island of Luiseninsel.
The Berlin Wall Memorial commemorates the division of Berlin by the Berlin Wall and the deaths that occurred as a result. Created in 1998, it is located about 10 minutes from the city center by public transport. Right at the entrance to the Memorial Park, there is a miniature model of the neighborhood when the wall was still standing. You can have a bird's eye view of the area with the wall arbitrarily cutting through Berliners' neighborhoods. Studying the model, you can see how it was impossible for Easterners to cross the wall and escape into the free world.
The memorial includes a Chapel of Reconciliation, the Berlin Wall Documentation Center, a 200-foot section of the former Berlin Wall, a window of remembrance, and the Visitor Center.
Friedrichshain is a district located slightly east of the city center of Berlin. Even though it may look like a residential area, it has an alternative and artistic vibe. Tourists are attracted to this neighborhood because it is home to Berlin's most active and playful nightlife.
Friedrichshain is one of the trendy districts of Berlin and has experienced gentrification. The district is known for its street art, which includes graffiti and outdoor artistic installations.
Last but not least on our list, about 20 minutes by public transport southwest of city center, are the damaged remains of Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church. The church was built in 1890s and was damaged in a bombing raid in 1943.
The damaged spire has been preserved and the ground floor has been made into a memorial hall. Today, the Memorial Church is a famous landmark and is nicknamed the Hollowed Tooth when translated from German. Food in Germany is tasty and cheap. One absolute must-have is currywurst, a dish made of fried bratwurst smothered with curry-seasoned ketchup, usually served with bread or French fries. Another must-have is doner kebab, thin shavings of delicious meat cooked on a vertical rotisserie and served with greens, onions, feta cheese, and sauces. We enjoyed ours in the form of a sandwich.
But don't stop there. Delis have a great assortment of sandwiches, and bakeries have a wide and varied selection of pastries and delicious German breads. Supermarkets are another source of great German breads. Also have a taste of the enormous selection of German beers, soft alcoholic drinks, as well as fruity sparkling beverages, which taste incredible.
Overall, Berlin is an exciting city to visit, whether you're looking to find some historic sites or enjoy the chill vibe of a modern European capital. With much to see and do, Berlin is definitely worth visiting, especially between May and September, although there is a lot to experience in winter too. Berlin is clean and very safe, so you have nothing to worry about exploring it by yourself. Being a cosmopolitan city, Berlin has food from all over the world, and it's delicious and relatively cheap. Compared to many other European capitals, lodging in Berlin is inexpensive, so you can easily stay for a week or more.
While some of the sites are far away, an elaborate and cheap transportation system compensates for that. Getting around Berlin is very easy. You can check our video on Berlin's transportation system for details on how to use trams, buses and subway, and how the fare system works. We hope you enjoyed our video. Please subscribe to get updates on future videos, and also check out more clips on our channel to learn about other interesting places to explore.